Morning, folks. Hope you're doing okay and you've made it through a very stormy night. But I trust that you're keeping well and everything's okay with you. And if you need anything, please do get in touch. Midweek is on 7:30 tomorrow night, as usual by Zoom, and the code is available in the newsletter. Or if you don't have that and you'd like to join us, please get in touch with me. We're reading this morning from Mark chapter 9 and reading from verse 2 of Mark 9. And after 6 days, Jesus took with him Peter and James and John and led them up a high mountain by themselves, and he was transfigured before them. And his clothes became radiant, intensely white, as no one on earth could bleach them. And there appeared to them Elijah with Moses, and they were talking with Jesus. Peter said to Jesus, "Rabbi, it is good that we are here. Let us make 3 tents, one for you, one for Moses, one for Elijah." For he did not know what to say, for they were terrified. And a cloud overshadowed them, and a voice came out of the cloud. "This is my beloved Son. Listen to him." And suddenly, looking around, they no longer saw anyone with them but Jesus only. And as they were coming down the mountain, he charged them to tell no one what they had seen until the Son of Man had risen from the dead. So they kept them out of themselves, questioning what this rising from the dead might mean. They asked him, "Why do the scribes say that first Elijah must come?" And he said to them, "Elijah does come first to restore all things. And how is it written of the Son of Man that he should suffer many things and be treated with contempt? But I tell you that Elijah has come, and they did to him whatever they pleased, as it is written of him." It's an incident, if I'm honest, in the Gospels that I probably find one of the hardest to comprehend or to understand. One of the hardest even to think about preaching on, because it seems to be an experience which is so totally beyond anything that you or I might ever have experienced. And it seems even Peter struggles to put it into words when he's relating it to Mark, for Mark to record in his gospel. Because all he can say is, well, it was white, it was so white, it was the whitest thing I've ever seen. It was whiter than anything on earth could bleach. Describing that intense brightness of Jesus' appearance in the Transfiguration. And then add to that the appearance of Moses and Elijah, the great leaders and prophets of the past, in conversation with Jesus, the carpenter from Galilee. And then the voice from heaven. And all that combines to produce this sense of both awe in the disciples, thinking this is good to be here, and terror in the disciples, because it's just gone so beyond anything that they could possibly comprehend. So why does this occurrence happen? Something which seems so out of step almost with every other situation, every other example of Jesus in the Gospels. Why does this happen? And why now, at this point in Jesus' story, this turning point where he is moving to focus towards the cross? Well, really, to understand why this happens and why it happens now, we need to go back to chapter 8 and to Peter again. And Peter declaring that Jesus is the Messiah. But then when Jesus starts to talk about the cross, starts to talk about what he must suffer, Peter rebuking him and telling him, no, this cannot happen. Because really the key to understanding what goes on in the Transfiguration is the voice and what it says. This is my beloved Son. Listen to him. Peter, you've identified who he is. That has been shown to you. But if he really is who he says he is, and if you really believe that he is that, then what you need to do now is to listen to him. Don't any longer attempt to put your ideas of Messiah onto him. Don't try to put him in a box marked Messiah as though you understand or know what Messiah should do. That's not how it's going to happen. You're not going to get the Messiah the way you think you were supposed to, Peter. And the way that you know that this is the Messiah and that you need to listen to him is that the law, represented by Moses, and the prophets, represented by Elijah, and the Father himself confirm who Jesus is and what he has come to do and how he will do it. Listen to him, Peter. Listen to him. Because as you listen to him and as you grow in your understanding, you will see that the way that he is going now is the way it always had to be. Pay attention, Peter. Pay attention to what's going on. Pay attention to what he says. The following chapters in Mark's Gospel still show the disciples as being slow to listen, slow to learn, slow to understand what's really going on. And that is just like us. We are slow to understand, slow to learn from Jesus. He invites us to learn from him, to listen to him, to pay attention to what he's doing in our lives and in our world. For these disciples, it'll only be after the resurrection that they get it, and that's why he tells them to be quiet about this transfiguration moment until after he rises from the dead. It'll only be after he rises from the dead that they finally get the picture of what he was doing. We have that picture. We live post-Easter, post-resurrection day. We need all the more to pay attention to Jesus, to read, to pray, to listen, to let Jesus show himself to us for who he really is and remind us of what he's really done for us. That can be what Lent is about. Taking the time, making the time, deliberately setting aside the time to listen to him. Will you do that over these weeks as we journey towards the cross? Will you listen to him and allow him to speak into your life right now? God bless.